Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Source 16 News at 10. Well, the National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a winter weather advisory for tomorrow. Meteorologist David Bryant will have all the details coming up in just a few minutes. And in anticipation of more wintry weather and some roads still having some slick spots from yesterday's snow event, some schools have already announced they will be closed tomorrow. There will be no school tomorrow in Christian, Graves, Hopkins, Todd, and Trigg counties. Clarksville, Montgomery County schools and Christian County Head Start Part Day only is closed. Dawson Springs will open at 9. In other news, Governor Steve Beshear made a major announcement today in Hopkinsville about a $4.2 million investment that will bring over 100 jobs to this area. Global automotive parts manufacturer Denso Air Systems of Japan will be locating a new manufacturing operation in Hopkinsville. Beshear and Denso Air Systems Michigan President Jerry McGuire explains why the company chose Hopkinsville.
They liked what they saw in Kentucky for a number of reasons. Kentucky's borders. We are within a day's drive of 2/3 of the continental United States. We're home to not one but two major air cargo hubs, ranking 4th in the nation in air cargo. We have one of the lowest costs in the nation for industrial electricity. Kentucky ranks 3rd among all the states in light vehicle production. In fact, 11.6% of all cars and trucks produced in the United States are made right here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
So we're extremely confident that this is the right time for Denso Air Systems to make this move to expand. We're also confident that we chose the right location here in Hopkinsville for our 3rd manufacturing facility in North America. It's the right time, the right place, with the right people.
The Japanese-owned company plans to have the new Denso Air Systems facility operational by mid-summer 2011. In addition, Denso officials say the local facility will manufacture aluminum pipes, tubes, and hoses for the automotive industry. Meanwhile, Christian County Fiscal Court this morning unanimously approved a $150,000 loan to the Hopkinsville Industrial Foundation. According to Christian County Judge Executive Steve Tribble, the loan will go towards repairing the future site of the Hopkinsville Denso Air Systems facility located off Frank Yost Road. Meanwhile, Fiscal Court also approved resurfacing 2 state roads, Kentucky Highway 287 and Kentucky 1843. In addition, magistrates approved payment requests worth over $51,000 for renovation work at the A.W. Watt Senior Center and renovation work worth over $13,000 at the Alhambra Theater. Fiscal Court also approved a yearly agreement between Fiscal Court and Crime Stoppers. All Oak Grove City departments will see a 15% cut in their budgets for 2011-2012. That's what Oak Grove Finance Director Sandra Harrison told city officials in today's Oak Grove Budget Committee meeting. The budget cuts are required to help fund a new library in the Oak Grove Community Center, which is expected to have its grand opening next week. All departments are expected to have their budgets completed and will present them to the committee next week. A native Kentuckian and Lexington attorney who is running in the May primary for the Secretary of State seat stopped by our studios yesterday before she went to speak at the Women's Democratic Club. Mason County native and lifelong Democrat Allison Lundergren Grimes talked about why she decided to run for Secretary of State.
I think now is the time for a new generation that's proud of its heritage and dedicated to the faith of our ancestors to take the reins, for fresh leadership and energy and enthusiasm for the Kentucky we all love. I think it is time for someone who has experience with the Office of Secretary of State and ideas to move it forward so that our talented youth don't have to leave their families but rather stay here in Kentucky and make it their home, to have the opportunity to take the role of Secretary of State.
Grimes stated that Secretary of State Trey Grayson has done a great job and laid a fabulous foundation, and she will look to build on that.
As Kentucky's next Secretary of State, I believe we must preserve, protect, and promote all citizens' right to vote. With so many Kentuckians serving on active military duty, I believe that those who risk their lives for us on the battlefield must have their voice protected at the ballot box, ensuring that all of our men and women in uniform not only have access to vote, but that their votes are counted will be a priority for me. Further, I believe that no eligible voter should ever be afraid to cast their vote. I think we must protect the privacy of domestic violence victims by allowing them to list the Office of Secretary of State as their residence on public voter registration rolls. The Office of Secretary of State, I think you must also serve as an ambassador to business. As an attorney, I work with the office regularly and know how we can make it better. I will make the office a one-stop shop for economic development and encourage businesses to come here to Kentucky. This means more jobs and a brighter future for Kentucky and its citizens.
She says her campaign is on their Ready to Listen and Ready to Lead tour, and she is happy to be able to tour all 120 counties and looks forward to meeting each of the citizens in these counties. Lundergan Grimes' father is former state representative and chairman of the Kentucky Democratic Party, Jerry Lundergan. The former state representative is also personal friends with former President Bill Clinton and is his Kentucky contact. A flight bringing home 3 Fort Campbell soldiers from their year-long deployment has been postponed. Flight 75026 was originally supposed to land this afternoon at the local post at 3:35, but it has now been postponed or rescheduled for 11:15 this evening. According to Fort Campbell officials, it's a strategic air flight which typically carries less than 15 passengers. For any last-minute flight changes, check out Fort Campbell's website, campbell.army.mil. Then you go to the Families category and then click on Welcome Home Ceremonies. A federal investigation may be underway to review the shooting deaths of 6 101st Airborne Division soldiers who were killed by an Afghan policeman last year. Democratic Senator Olympia Snowe of Maine is requesting a federal review into the deaths that is now being supported by Army officials and her Democratic colleague Carl Levin of Michigan. Snowe was quoted in the Sun Journal newspaper saying that answers are needed for the safety of troops and for the long-term prospects for peace and stability. As previously reported by Source16, the soldiers were killed in November by a lone gunman from the Afghan Border Police during a training mission in the Nangarhar province. An 18-year-old Hopkinsville male who recently pled guilty to facilitation of murder in the 2009 beating death of John Lyle is back behind bars. Christian County Sheriff's Department served a warrant and arrested Devontae Hampton after police say he violated his release from jail by using drugs. Hampton was one of 5 local males charged in the beating death of 41-year-old John Lyle of Hopkinsville on July 23, 2009. He was released from jail on December 20th of last year. He was arrested around 9:15 yesterday morning at Hopkinsville High School on Kaufman Drive and booked into the Christian County Jail. Officials have identified a Graves County man who died in a house fire on Dorothy Lane early Friday morning. Graves County Coroner Philip McLean told Source16 31-year-old Abduzariak Bohan of Mayfield died of smoke inhalation. Officials think the fire may have been started by something Bohan was using to heat his mobile home. And school officials out of Graves County are thanking some good Samaritans who helped get kids home during yesterday's snowstorm. West Kentucky and Tennessee telecommunications staff members provided rides to students who could not get home due to the unexpected severity of Monday's storm. Sheriff's deputies, various elected county officials, and a number of volunteers also helped transport students and pull buses out of ditches. No injuries were reported. Residents in Callaway County are mourning the loss of one of their own. Callaway County native and Knoxville broadcaster 92-year-old James A. Dick Sr. died following a long illness. Dick parlayed a construction permit for a 1,000-watt AM radio station into an East Tennessee broadcasting empire. Dick began WIVK in 1953 when he formed Dick Broadcasting. The company expanded to a network of 15 radio stations, which was sold in 2000 to Citadel Broadcasting. The radio group builder graduated from Transylvania University, where he was awarded a football scholarship. He also served in the U.S. Army during World War II. A 68-year-old Hardin man is lucky to be alive after police say his vehicle ran off the road into a lake. A Marshall County Sheriff's Department report released today says 68-year-old Robert Estes of Hardin was driving on Kentucky 402 Friday when at the Jonathan Creek Bridge he heard a pop and the steering wheel jerked to the right. The vehicle then left the road, went down an embankment and ran into the lake where it completely submerged in the water. Police say Estes was able to free himself from the vehicle and swam to shore. He was transported by ambulance to Marshall County Hospital where he was treated for injuries. Well, they became popular for being environmentally friendly, but newly released lab results show that a number of reusable shopping bags contain dangerous amounts of lead. Here's Source 16's Michelle Herron with more.
Put your health at risk. That's what many people are asking after the Center for Consumer Freedom released lab results showing that many retailers' reusable shopping bags contain excessive amounts of lead.
Lead can build up slowly in your body over time. Eventually that can lead to lead poisoning, and that can lead to problems with growth and development, behavior problems, learning disabilities, things like that. In severe cases, it can lead to coma and even death.
Bags that were constructed from non-woven polypropylene, which is the most commonly used material in reusable grocery bags. The material is typically made in China and can be produced in a variety of ways, with or without the toxic heavy metal. National chains like CVS, Walgreens, and Piggly Wiggly were among those selling reusable bags containing high levels of lead. But officials say eliminating the exposure to lead will allow the body to take care of the problem itself.
But usually there are certain things that you can do is eating a diet high in calcium and vitamin C and iron, eating low-fat foods, making sure your child doesn't skip meals because an empty stomach absorbs lead quicker than a full stomach does. So those are all things, taking a vitamin, to help reduce the lead levels in the body. But usually once you reduce the risk and do those things, the lead levels usually go away on their own.
The Center for Consumer Freedom reports to date CVS is the only store that has recalled their bags due to high levels of lead.